下我们给大家所做的一个报道，它是一个新闻影片吗？它是个记录人类怎么样让自己可居住的地方一步一步地走向不可居住甚至灭亡吗？我没有办法回答，我只能说它就是真相。
Tonight, powerful winds and historic rainfall lashing the west coast.
41 million at risk for flash flooding, mudslides, and high winds.
Off the Washington coast, the strongest storm on record.
What's to blame? A swift and massive drop in air pressure called a bomb cyclone, combined with an influx of extratropical moisture. The mix creating a catastrophic weather system, already wreaking havoc on California's highways. The town of Paradise is still devastated from the fires there. A region that so desperately needed rain. But the storm only providing more pain.
In Chicago, winds from a separate system whipping the waters of Lake Michigan, waves over 12 feet.
And in the Midwest, more severe storms after at least 13 reported tornadoes, this one near Kansas City.
Look at the water level.
Weather forecasters said parts of Sicily were being pounded by a rare tropical-like cyclone, with the sea 8 degrees Celsius warmer than the average for this time of year.
怪兽级的风暴和崩落的冰川，这是你印象中的地球暖化。你眼里看到的是冰，他们看见的是生命。
I'm Nadia, and I'm a marine biologist working at Rothera Research Station on the West Antarctic Peninsula.
We dive throughout the summer and the winter to allow seasonal comparisons. We collect multiple species ranging from sea cucumbers to sea spiders to sea stars to predict what future changes will have and understand better how Antarctic ecosystems function.
The melting of just a fraction of Antarctica's ice mass could lead to catastrophic sea level rises and further accelerate global warming.
伤害已经造成。
In the last 5 years, heat waves have caused the death of half of the corals on the reef through a process known as bleaching, turning them ghostly white.
We're losing these breeding corals faster than they can be replaced.
In fact, scientists say nearly all reefs will disappear by the end of the century due to thermal stress and ocean acidification.
这些都是你已经知道的事。纳迪亚现在要告诉你，若你还以为对抗地球暖化是为了要拯救南极企鹅或是大堡礁的珊瑚，错，要被拯救的人是你。
It's not the Earth and the planetary systems that need saving, it's us as humans. So I'm looking at Antarctic ecosystems that I've been there for, and I know within myself I'm not worried because they will be able to recover. Without humans, life will regenerate. We absolutely need to listen to the science. We need to listen to the signs that are showing that the climate is changing and that habitats are under pressure. Species cannot adapt fast enough. We are going to experience a completely different world.
急速的暖化也打开了时空胶囊。
We're about to be shown something amazing. We are in Siberia in a walk-in fridge with an intact extinct species.
The remains of a mammoth, a 28,000-year-old mammoth. When they found it, it was so well preserved that there was still fur on it.
2/3 of Russia is covered by something called permafrost, permanently frozen ground. The icy soil preserves ancient animals incredibly well. But we were in Yakutia this summer, nearly 3,000 miles from Moscow, because climate change is changing Siberia. Its frozen ground is starting to melt, and it potentially has huge consequences for the rest of the planet. But with average temperatures in Yakutia now up to 3 degrees Celsius warmer, in many places the permafrost is starting to thaw. That warming is literally reshaping the landscape. As permafrost retreats, it leaves a hollow space under the ground. As the top earth starts to fall in, it makes these strange bulges and mounds. What was once flat land now looks like this.
This plot of land was very flat. In 1994, we played football, volleyball on it.
Some scientists predict if temperatures continue on their present trajectory, from 10 to 30% of permafrost will be thawing within the next few decades.
灾难 已到门前。西伯利亚的房屋以肉眼可见的状态裂出拳头大的裂缝，倒下只是迟早的问题。不幸的是，随着永冻层的解冻，还会释放出的温室气体甲烷，而且甲烷暖化效果是二氧化碳分子的25倍，陷入地球暖化的恶性循环。东非的冰川不用等几十年，联合国报告警告，在20年，东非所有冰川就要不见了。
A new UN-backed report has warned that East Africa's last remaining glaciers are sinking fast.
All 3 of Africa's glaciers are shrinking at a faster rate than the global average. A new report says extreme weather conditions could affect up to 118 million extremely poor people in Africa.
Adapting to the impacts of climate change is costing African economies an average of 5% of their GDP. And if warming continues at the rates projected in this report, these costs will increase exponentially within the next decade.
Africa is disproportionately affected by the impacts of global warming, with droughts and flooding becoming more common. But it's responsible for less than 4% of global greenhouse gas emissions.
阿富汗何尝不是如此？联合国阿富汗粮食安全和农业工作组发布的最新报告，阿富汗半数以上人口自11月起将面临重度缺粮状态，
其中320万5岁以下儿童预计今年年底将面临严重营养不良。
China and the United States, the 2 biggest emitters of greenhouse gases in the world. The actions and agreement of these 2 countries will go a long way to determining the future of the planet.
This is code red. The nation and the world are in peril.
Here in Corpus Christi in Texas, Joe Biden insists the US fossil fuel industry must go green if America is to meet its pledge to cut emissions in half by the end of the decade. But there's strong resistance to his plans domestically. For all the talk of going green in Congress, there's no sense of that here. This is Refinery Row, a 10-mile stretch on the Gulf Coast of Texas. Oil and gas refineries and petrochemical plants as far as the eye can see. This side of the bay is full to capacity, but rather than stop here, they're simply expanding across the water. The truth is, as long as China and the US remain so hooked on fossil fuels and so seemingly unable to work together, the more the world will continue to experience the devastating consequences. Between them, these 2 global giants have the chance to commit to changes that will bring down global emissions once and for all. But will they take it?